you done any interviews in the past few years?
Because I hate them.
Why?
I just hate them. I hate talking to people I don't really know. I don't talk to everybody, so they don't really know the real me. And I don't think anybody will.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. What if everything you thought you knew about Freddie Mercury was just the surface? What if the man who captivated millions with Bohemian Rhapsody and commanded Wembley Stadium like a god had been hiding the most profound secret of his entire life? A secret so explosive that it's remained buried for nearly half a century, known only to his closest inner circle. Well, that secret has finally been ripped wide open, and it's about to change how the world sees the Queen frontman forever. The revelation comes from a bombshell new biography that's set to shock millions of fans worldwide. Author Leslie Ann Jones, a respected rock journalist who spent years touring with Queen and gaining unprecedented access to Mercury's inner circle, has uncovered something that will leave you questioning everything. In her upcoming book, Love, Freddie, Jones reveals that the legendary singer had a secret daughter, born in 1976 during the height of Queen's success, just 1 year after Bohemian Rhapsody conquered the world. This isn't just another celebrity rumor or tabloid speculation. This is backed by hard evidence that took Jones 3.5 years to verify. The daughter, known only as B to protect her privacy, is now a 48-year-old medical professional living quietly in Europe. She's been carrying this secret her entire life, watching from the shadows as the world mourned her father's death in 1991, never knowing she existed. The only people who knew the truth were Mercury's parents, his sister, the surviving members of Queen, and Mary Austin, the love of his life who knew all his secrets. If you're still watching, you're deep in the real story. And trust me, it only gets crazier. Hit the subscribe, like, comment, and share buttons if you want more untold stories like this one. It helps a lot more than you think. But here's where this story gets even more incredible. The child wasn't the result of some brief encounter or one-night stand. She was conceived during an affair between Mercury and the wife of one of his closest friends, while the husband was away on an extended business trip. When the pregnancy was discovered, instead of scandal and betrayal, something extraordinary happened. The three adults made a decision that would define all their lives. They agreed to raise the child together in an arrangement so unusual it sounds like fiction. Mercury didn't just acknowledge his daughter from a distance. He became a devoted father who visited regularly, maintained his own rooms in both of the family's homes, and formed what his daughter describes as a very close and loving relationship from the moment I was born. The privacy and discretion were maintained to such a degree that even some members of Mercury's personal household had no idea he had a child. Think about that for a moment. In an era when celebrities couldn't sneeze without it making headlines, Mercury managed to hide an entire daughter for 15 years. The secrecy was so complete that B wasn't even provided for through Mercury's public will. Instead, a private legal arrangement ensured her name would never appear in public documents, keeping her existence hidden even after his death. This level of coordination and loyalty from everyone involved speaks to something deeper than just protecting a celebrity's reputation. This was about protecting a child and preserving a family structure that, while unconventional, clearly worked. What's particularly fascinating is how this secret was maintained in an age when Mercury's every move was scrutinized by the media. The man who declared, "I want to break free," and lived his public life with such flamboyant openness managed to keep his most precious relationship completely hidden. It speaks to the fierce loyalty of those around him and the careful planning that went into protecting his daughter's normal childhood.
But I think that he did lean on her. He did need her. She knew him the way nobody else did. And he could always go home to her. So in those terms, she was a maternal figure. And she was his old faithful and his salvation. And he could keep coming back because she let him.
What makes this revelation even more staggering is what Mercury left behind for his daughter. Starting in June 1976, when he first learned about the pregnancy, Mercury began documenting his life in extraordinary detail. Over the next 15 years, until just months before his death, he filled 17 volumes of handwritten journals with approximately 555,000 words. These weren't just random thoughts or tour diary entries. These were intimate records of his private thoughts, memories, and feelings feelings about everything he experienced, from his birth in Zanzibar to his final days battling the illness that would take his life. Before Mercury passed away in November 1991, he made a decision that would prove prophetic. He entrusted these 17 volumes to his daughter, telling her they were the written record of his private thoughts, memories, and feelings about everything he had experienced. For over 3 decades, she kept them secret, honoring her father's memory and the promise of privacy that had protected her throughout her childhood. But now, at 48 years old and a mother herself, she's made the extraordinary decision to share these intimate records with the world. The daughter's own words, revealed in a handwritten letter included in the biography, are both heartbreaking and beautiful. She writes, "Freddie Mercury was and is my father. We had a very close and loving relationship from the moment I was born, and throughout the final 15 years of his life, he adored me and was devoted to me. The circumstances of my birth may seem, by most people's standards, unusual and even outrageous. That should come as no surprise. It never detracted from his commitment to love and look after me. He cherished me like a treasured possession." She goes on to explain why she's chosen to reveal herself now, saying, "After more than 3 decades of lies, speculation, and distortion, it is time to let Freddie speak. Those who have been aware of my existence kept his greatest secret out of loyalty to Freddie. That I choose to reveal myself in my own midlife is my decision and mine alone. The weight of carrying this secret for so long, watching as countless books, documentaries, and films attempted to tell her father's story without knowing about the most important relationship in his private life, must have been immense. When Leslie Ann Jones first approached this story, she was skeptical. As she explains, "My instinct was to doubt everything, but I am absolutely sure she is not a fantasist. No one could have faked all this. Why would she have worked with me for 3.5 years, never demanding anything?" Jones's investigation revealed photographs, cards, bank statements, and other evidence that convinced even the most hardened journalists that this wasn't some elaborate hoax or money grab. The daughter has never asked for money, doesn't want recognition, and lives an intensely private life with her own family in another country. This revelation forces us to reconsider everything we thought we knew about Freddie Mercury. The man who sang "Somebody to Love" had found that somebody in the most unexpected way. The performer who asked "Who wants to live forever?" was simultaneously creating a legacy through his daughter that would indeed live forever. The artist who poured his heart into "Love of My Life" was living that reality in the most private corners of his existence. The timing of this revelation is particularly poignant. Mercury's daughter chose to share her father's journals and her story just as the world was celebrating the 30th anniversary of Queen's legendary Live Aid performance, and years after the success of the Bohemian Rhapsody film introduced Mercury to a new generation. Perhaps she felt it was finally time for the full truth to be told, for her father to be remembered not just as a rock god, but as a devoted parent who loved deeply and completely. The biography Love, Freddie is scheduled for publication in September 2025, and pre-orders are already available. When it hits shelves, it will undoubtedly send shockwaves through the music world and beyond. This isn't just another celebrity tell-all or unauthorized biography filled with salacious gossip. This is the story of a man's most guarded secret, told through his own words and the memories of the daughter he adored, finally ready to step out of the shadows and claim her place in rock and roll history. What strikes you most about this incredible revelation? The fact that Mercury managed to keep such a monumental secret for so long, the loyalty of everyone who helped protect his daughter's privacy, or perhaps the image of the flamboyant rock star quietly writing in his journal each night, documenting his thoughts for the daughter he couldn't publicly acknowledge but clearly treasured above all else. This story changes everything we thought we knew about one of music's greatest legends, proving that sometimes the most extraordinary truths are the ones hidden in plain sight.